Here is Larry Dierker's starting lineup with the Killer Bees atop the order. Biggio, Bell, and Bagwell, the top three. Bell leads the National League with a .403 batting average. The heart of the order has Jack Howell at third, Moises Alou in center. Former Cub Dave Clark is in left, hitting sixth. Gutierrez the shortstop, Osmus the catcher, Shane Reynolds the pitcher will bat ninth for the front-running Astros.
And the Pepsi defense for Jim Riggleman and the Cubs. It's Rodriguez, Brown, and Sosa left to right. In the infield, Kevin Ory, Blauser, Morandini, and Grace. And a battery of Sandy Martinez and young Kerry Wood going to the mound in search of his third victory. You look at the ERA, way up there at 5.89, but when he's been good, he's been very good, as the 25 strikeouts in 18 and a third innings would attest.
And obviously the key is stopping the Killer Bees atop the order, and especially their leadoff man, Craig Biggio, who is just a marvelous ball player. And earlier today we talked to Tom McCraw of the Astros about what Craig Biggio means to this Astro attack.
Number one is he's a gamer. I mean, he comes to play every day. He knows the things to do to get on base. If we need a base runner and he's trying to, get that walk, or he'll even get hit with a pitch ball to get on base. We need that ball to go to the right side. He'll go to the right side with it. And he has the capability, which most leadoff hitters don't have, is he can leave the ballpark for you in a tight ball game. And he loves to be in that tight situation.
That guy is tough. They may have two of the toughest guys in baseball on this Astro team. Biggio one, Bagwell the other. Jerry Meals, the home plate umpire. He may be a key man in this ball game for Kerry Wood. You talked about that a bit last night.
Well, I think it really depends on just exactly what strike zone Kerry Wood is going to get. If he gets the same strike zone Wally Bell was calling last night, he's going to be pretty tough to beat.
He went 1 for 5 last night with a late home run. And the first pitch sails inside. 1 ball, no strikes.
That knocked the mask right off the head of Jerry Meals, as he's probably encouraging Sandy Martinez to get a glove on it. Watch it again. Sandy just misses it.
That is some heat, folks. And Biggio rather carefully steps back in. And it's 2-0.
Well, Biggio is going to try to take a walk. He's going to get on base any way he can. And you notice those are just fake bunts. He's going to force Kerry Wood to throw strikes.
And that, of course, what you wait to see from this very talented young man. He's got the 98-mile-an-hour heat. But can he get it over? 2 balls and a strike to Biggio, who's hitting a hefty .315 with 3 home runs and 13 batted in. And he leads the National League in stolen bases with 14 in 16 tries. 2-2.
Well, the wind not much of a factor today. It's out of the southeast at 7 miles an hour, 64 degrees at game time. And if the rain does hold off, it'll be very pleasant at the friendly confines today.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Got him with the heat. That ball was really sizzling. 1 down.
Biggio swung when that ball was in the glove. You watch it here. And Biggio swinging way late, and that's one of the worst swings you'll see him take. And at least he can't tell anybody on the bench how that curveball is, because he didn't see one.
Right. And here's Derek Bell, the leading hitter in the National League, with a .403 average, 6 home runs, 28 batted in. Bell had a tough time early in the game last night against Mark Clark, but then had an RBI single in the 7th inning for the Astros and reached on the double error by Morandini in the 8th. No balls and a strike to Mr. Bell, who already has 50 hits on the year but is down 2 strikes.
Well, so far so good, and so far these Astros have to be pretty impressed with what they've seen. That was the first breaking ball, and it was a dandy.
0-2. Right back to the screen. One thing I know Jim Riggleman would love to see from Kerry Wood today is another 7-inning performance like he gave the ball club last time out against the Cardinals. This Cub bullpen has worked a lot lately. And you know the question about Kerry is going to be the high pitch count as the day continues, and he changes speeds and Bell strikes out. Oh, my goodness. 2 up, 2 down.
Well, he's got two different kinds of curveballs, and that was one that came in a little slower than the last one. And watch Bell swing over the top of this. From the Southwest Plainview camera, take a look at a good hitter looking real bad.
Big, slow curveball gets Bell. 2 up, 2 down, and here's Bagwell. This is a man that can turn around the best fastball. So a fun challenge here for him. And a strike, and the kid is really pumping him over with ease right now. Against the Cardinals, Carey threw 104 pitches. And that got him through 7. We'd love another one of those kinds of outings again today. 1-1 to Bagwell. He laid off. It's 2-1.
Well, now odds are Bagwell's going to see a fastball, and he's been pulling off the ball, so if you're Kerry Wood, you'd like to keep it on the outer third. Keep it out away from Bags.
Ooh.
Just some tremendous heat with a little hop at the end, and he just threw it right by him.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The Astros just shaking their heads right now. The gunslinger ready, the 2-2. Strike 3 call. He punched out the order in the first. Nothing doing for the Astros. Here come the Cubs in the bottom half of the first. Kerry Wood struck out the Astros in order in the first. Here come the Cubs. And the Pepsi lineup. The Cubs a game over 500. 4th in the National League Central with Brant Brown, Mickey Morandini, and Sammy Sosa, the top 3. Sosa with a 12-game hit streak. Mark Grace, the Cubs cleanup man, has a 9-game hitting streak and has fared well against Reynolds. Then it's Henry Rodriguez, Jeff Blauser, Sandy Martinez, the catcher, Kevin Orie back in the lineup, and Kerry Wood, the pitcher, will bat 9th.
And the defense for Larry Dierker and the Houston Astros. Clark, Alou, and Bell left to right. In the infield, the venerable Jack Howell, Gutierrez, Biggio, and Bagwell. Brad Ausmus behind the plate, and Shane Reynolds on the hill. As you see, a 2-2 record on for his 8th start. The ERA up there. This year, uncharacteristically, giving up 11.5 hits per 9 innings. And he's always had trouble in this ballpark. And the Cubs are hoping that continues because the way Kerry Wood is throwing, they don't need too many runs today.
So Reynolds against Brown to open up the Cubs half of the first inning. Brant last night went 1 for 4, hit 80. 3-run homer that the wind didn't help at all. He's got such tremendous power.
Yes,
that
those burly wrists.
had no problems hitting that ball out of the park. And Reynolds evens the count at a ball and a strike.
Reynolds he's worked sharpening up his curveball and his slider, and we should see a few more of those. Last year it was basically fastball and forkball.
Fisted out of play, 1-2.
Reynolds last year just 9-10. The ERA up there at 4.23. Only completed 2 of his 30 starts.
He was hurt, had some arthroscopic surgery to repair the meniscus in his right knee, had a cyst removed as well. But he's back to start the year. He started the last 3 opening days for the Astro team. So he's their top gun, and he tries to lead the Astros to a sweep today here at Wrigley Field. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the Cubs leadoff man, Brant Brown. Got him with an off-speed pitch. So strikeouts the story so far. 4 batters have struck out in the first inning and a third.
Well, when you consider that this Houston team has lost 60% of their starting rotation from last year, as you look at that split finger for strike 3, you have to realize Larry Dierker has his hands full. He lost his #1 starter in Darryl Kyle. You got Ramon Garcia hurt. You got Chris Holt hurt.
Right.
So that's 60%.
Mickey Morandini fouls it back, but then you add in Mike Hampton. He's won 5 games. Lima's won 5 games. Somewhat surprisingly, they lead the National League in wins with those 2 men. And you know Reynolds is going to rebound, or at least you hope he will.
Well, you figure Hampton was there because he had a good year last year. I think the surprise is Lima, who moved from a 1-6 bullpen man to a 5-1 starter.
Morandini evens the count, a ball and a strike. 0 for 4 last night. And a beautiful look at the friendly confines from our high center field scoreboard. Good sized crowd gathering here at the ballpark. 1-2.
Reynolds a good sized right-hander at 6'3", 210 pounds.
He tried to check his swing and could not, says Jerry Meals. Morandini can't believe that call. Nor can the Cubs bench. I thought he checked his swing from up here, but he is struck out.
Jim Riggleman coming out, and he says you can't be calling that. But Jerry Meals is saying I can and I will, and I did.
I think all Jim wants is for him to ask for a little help on that play, because I don't think he went around.
Well, we've had 5 hitters and 5 strikeouts, and watch Morandini as he takes one up and in. He never swung. In fact, he just pivoted, and from the Southwest Airlines Plainview camera, we'll take a look at just a pivot with the front foot, and he kept his hands back and still got rung up.
So a tough break for him, and now Sosa takes a strike. Sammy, a 12-game hit streak. He's hit 4 home runs. He's knocked in 9 during this career high spurt for him, and he's climbed into the top 10 in the National League hit parade. He's hitting .352, but he's behind 2 quick strikes.
Well, that split finger has always been an outstanding pitch, and we interchangeably use split finger and forkball. It's pretty much the same pitch, and Shane Reynolds has always had that. He's always had better luck in the dome because I don't think you pick it up as well as you do outside. And this park has always been a mystery to him.
A picture perfect day for baseball at Wrigley. Now time called as Sammy steps back out.
Well, this will be a test for Sammy and a test of his patience, because for one of the few times he's down 0-2. Let's see if he has a patience when a veteran pitcher nips at one of the corners.
The 0-2. He spit that one low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. During this 12-game hit streak, Sosa has struck out only 7 times. He's walked 7 times as well. So he's been much more patient and consequentially much more effective. But that time he went fishing, and 6 hitters up, 6 hitters down on strikes. After 1 inning at Wrigley Field, we are scoreless. Six strikeouts by these two teams after 1 inning of play, and on to the second we go. For the Astros, Howell, Alou, and Clark will take a look at young right-hander Kerry Wood.
Jack Howell's a man who had a pretty good career here in the States. Went to Japan for 4 years with both the Yakult Swallows and the Giants, Tokyo Giants, and did quite a nice job, and then now is back and resurrected his career again.
Now that's got to be a swing. Now he appeals, and it's not. That's not right. 1 ball, no strikes to Howell.
Howell at one point came very close to winning the Triple Crown. He was the MVP in Japan.
And a good cut. Well, in his 4 years overseas, hit 100 home runs, knocked in 272.
And he said he really enjoyed his time over there and does not regret for one instant his 4 years involved in Japanese baseball. Got a chance to face Hideki Irabu in spring training. And he told me that when he read all the reports that the Yankees had signed the Japanese Nolan Ryan, he said he was wondering who they signed, because it wasn't the guy that he faced in spring training. He said he was a decent pitcher, but not Nolan Ryan-esque.
Well, he's seeing a guy right now with Nolan Ryan type heat. 1-2 from Kerry Wood. Got him swinging. He struck out the first 4 he's faced.
I'm not sure what the record is. I think I recall Tom Seaver striking out 8 straight men. I think Roger Clemens did that also, and there's some high heat. And sayonara to Mr. Howell.
And Ohio gozaimasu to Moises Alou, which I think means good morning or good day. Haven't brushed up on my Japanese of late, though. Here's Alou. Breaking ball outside corner, strike one. Moises hitting .305, 7 home runs, 28 runs batted in. 0-2.
Well, that's what that real sharp breaking curve will do to a right-hand hitter, because he can't tell it's a curveball. He's thinking fastball, starts his swing, and then the ball disappears, and you look rather foolish.
Smart pitch there, testing that outside edge from Jerry Meals, but he missed with it. A ball, 2 strikes. Got him.
That was a great pitch, because Sandy Martinez called the fastball, and you saw him take the glove and motion, I want it upstairs. Nobody's going to hit his fastball upstairs. If you swing at it, you're going down. And you see the high heat rising, and yet another strikeout, 5 in a row.
But now a different challenge. A left-hand hitter faces him, Dave Clark. He's hitting .125, no homers or ribbies. 5 up, 5 strikeouts against the Cubs right-hander Kerry Wood. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, usually you'll see one of the guys lay down a bunt, but I don't think that guy's going to be Dave Clark.
The 1-0. Swung on high, fly ball into center. It's playable for Brett Brown. He's got it, and that retires the side. 6 up, 6 down after 1.5 scoreless at the friendly confines. Mark Grace will lead it off for the Cubs here in the second. Scoreless duel at Wrigley Field. The Cubs trying to get a game back from the front-running Astros. Cubs at 16-15. We're 4 games back. The Reds a game behind us, and we trail the Cardinals by a game. St. Louis still struggling away from home. But Mark Grace hasn't been struggling of late. He's got a 9-game hitting streak. And Reynolds ready to go. Toward third. Under the glove of Howell into left field. And they give him a base hit. He's trying for 2. The throw, terrible. And into the Houston bullpen. And Grace all the way to third. A double and an error. And the error to the Astro left fielder, Dave Clark.
Well, Howell lets this one play him. And then Dave Clark has some problems as Mark Grace decides to test the arm of Dave Clark. And the throw is errant. So there is the go-ahead run, just 90 feet away. The way Kerry Wood is throwing, 1 run becomes very important.
So a fly ball could tally the first run of the afternoon as Henry stands in. 1 ball, no strikes.
Astros are going to concede the run on a ground ball in the infield, trying to stay out of the big inning. They've got the infield back. So Henry needs some contact.
He's hitting .240 with 8 homers, 20 batted in. And a good block by Ausmus. 2 balls, no strikes.
Reynolds already has 1 wild pitch, and that one bounced about 3 feet in front of home plate. Ausmus did a nice job of blocking it.
Henry has struggled with the bat of late, but a chance to pick up a ribby here. It's 3-0 now. He's 4 for his last 41. The 3-0. 3-1.
It looks like Reynolds is going to stay away from Henry, so he's got to look away, and he just whacked Brad Ausmus right in the mask on his follow-through with his swing. Ausmus is laughing.
You don't think we can get a catcher's interference on that?
No, he got a face burger for his efforts.
The 3-1 to the right side, but foul. And the count now 3 balls, 2 strikes. Jeff Blauser, the Cubs shortstop, waiting on deck. Cubs trying to break on top here in the early going against the first place Astros. We've led the last 2 games and we haven't been able to hold it the last 2 days. The 3-2. High drive right center field. That's deep enough to score the run. Moises Alou will haul it in. Tagging from third is Grace. It's an RBI sac fly for Henry, and the Cubs lead it 1-0.
That's the first sacrifice fly for Henry. And that's the 9th for the Cubs this year, and RBI number 21. And the Cubs have the lead.
Well, that's one thing Kerry Wood has had the benefit of, Steve. He has gotten pretty good run support for this Cub team all season long. 2 starts ago, the Cubs put a huge number on the board against the Dodgers and Hideo Nomo. They scored 3 against the Cardinals in the first in his last start. They've given him a 1-run lead here in the second so far today at Wrigley Field.
I think this team is starting to feel very comfortable when Kerry goes to the mound. And they just play a lot looser.
Blauser chops it to third. Howell will make the play with ease. And there are 2 down. So 2 outs, and Sandy Martinez, the Cub catcher, will take his first shots at Shane Reynolds.
It looks like Kerry Wood has solved the problem of the Astros running game. You just don't allow anybody to get on. You don't have to worry about the stolen base, and it doesn't matter who's catching, whether it's Sandy Martinez or anybody else.
Well, that noted baseball philosopher, my dad, told me many years ago, you can't steal first.
They're having a hard time making contact against the young fireballer.
That's out of the zone. 2-0 to the Cub catcher, Sandy Martinez. Playing in his 6th game this year. He's had but 6 at bats. And he shows good patience. 3-0. This guy has a great arm behind the plate. Does Sandy. And we'll see if he has a chance to display it. He draws the 2-out walk.
Well, Jeff Penland has been working hard with Kevin Ory, and here's an opportunity for Kevin to try to break out of it. Now they've opened him up somewhat. Obviously everybody around the league knows that Kevin has had some problems getting the ball out of his kitchen, getting around on the ball inside, and there's a look at Jeff Penland, who suggested to Kevin that he open up that front foot slightly so that his hips can clear and he can get his hands through.
For he has been jammed a lot, and that's where Reynolds starts him inside. 0-1. The depths of Kevin's slump. He's 4 for his last 46 and has hit the ball out of the infield only 14 times during that stretch. So he has really hit a tough spot. 1 ball, 1 strike. His average down to 185. His last home run April 1st. Maybe today's the day he's going to bust out of it against the first place Houston Ball Club. Sandy a short lead over at first, not going, and Kevin swung a little early.
It looked like the split finger, and that one just dropped out of the zone. Cubs and Cardinal fans in attendance today.
Yeah, how'd they get seated together? The 1-2 just missed. It's 2-2. Speaking of the Cardinals, they'll be in Pittsburgh tonight. We'll look at the Giants starting tomorrow. They play the Marlins tonight down in South Florida. The 2-2 swing and a miss. And Ory strikes out, and that retires the Cubs in the second. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. After 2, Cubs have a 1-0 lead. An unearned run, the difference so far. The Cubs lead it 1-0. We want to pass along a lot of birthday greetings today. Harry Steinberg used to work at Wrigley Field way back in the 20s. He celebrates his 89th birthday today. Happy birthday as well to Susan Crown. Joe Andretti, 77 today. His grandson Jim at the ballpark. Wanted to pass that along. And happy 54th wedding anniversary to Jimmy Farrell and his wife Eleanor. Jimmy, the umpire's room attendant here at the ballpark. Ricky Gutierrez will lead off the Astro third. He finally makes contact and fouls it into the upper deck.
Well, he was one of the culprits from last night as Mark Clark chose to pitch to him, and twice he burned him with a single and a double, and 2 runs batted in.
He's hitting a hefty .352 on the year, but he's behind 2 strikes right now. Mr. Wood's fastball is a mere illusion. They have not been able to hit him.
Just throw one upstairs higher than high and you'll probably get him.
He tried, but the shortstop laid off.
Big group here from Drake University in Des Moines, headed up by Jim and Ruth Mills and Hans and Sonia Hansen.
1-2. He stays alive. Pitch count often key with a power pitcher like Wood. He threw 24 through 2 innings. And again, the Cubs would love a nice long outing for him. To the left side, off Ori's glove into left field for a base hit.
Well, that was the first breaking ball that hung up there slightly, and Gutierrez, who's been red hot, gets the first hit of the day. Only the second man to make contact against Kerry Wood. And the one thing that you worry about with Kerry, who doesn't use a slide step, is base runners. And watch it again as Ori goes to his left, as it just tip off the glove and no chance to make a play. So Gutierrez, who runs fairly well and will run often, probably getting a lead at first, and he's 3 out of 6 in stolen bases.
And Brad Ausmus, who had been slumping until he got to town, is the hitter. And a strike call. Ausmus hitting .161 with 2 homers, 7 runs batted in. One of those homers came last night. Gutierrez measures that lead. He's got a good one. Not going. And the pitch popped foul and out of play. The Astros lead the National League by far with 44 stolen bases.
As Larry Dierker has said, we also get thrown out quite a bit. They've been gunned down 21 times, but he says you put the pressure on the defense if you run, and you leave it up to the pitcher and catcher to both make pretty good plays to get you out.
Not going. The pitch is way high. 1-2. Power pitchers sometimes take a long time to get the ball to home plate, but Wood's got such great velocity, and Martinez behind the plate with his great arm. Will that be enough to be the equalizer? We'll see. Now it's 2-2.
Well, there's no doubt that Sandy Martinez is the best throwing of the Cub catchers. He's got a quick release. He's normally very accurate.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And now time is called by the Astro catcher.
You don't want to even talk to Kerry Wood right now about a slide step or any alteration to his motion. You just want him to throw strikes, and the rest will come later.
Again. Into foul ground and over the top. Hopefully that's not headed toward Mr. Santos' car again.
Looked to me like Sandy was ready to try a pickoff play at first base if that one would have gone by Ausmus. Gutierrez was straying somewhat on the secondary lead.
Not going. The 2-2 is high. 3 balls, 2 strikes. First one of those Mr. Wood has faced in this ball game today.
Well, this is important. If you don't get Ausmus, then you set up the automatic bunt and put runners at second and third for Biggio if Reynolds is successful. So you want to throw a strike here.
3-2. Got him swinging. Snap throw to first. But Gutierrez back standing. Ausmus asks, was it a strike? Jerry Meals says yes, it would have been had you not swung. And Kerry Wood with 6 strikeouts already in the game.
Throws that fastball out away from Ausmus. No chance here, and Sandy Martinez tries to pick off Gutierrez. And now the bunt situation, but it's tough to bunt this young man. That fastball very lively. You'll see a lot of pop-ups on bunts with Kerry Wood throwing.
Reynolds hitting 133 on the year. Squares, lays down a dandy. Who wants it? Grace does, and he'll throw to first on the sacrifice. So Gutierrez to second. And a sacrifice scored. 3-4. Now 2 outs.
We'll take a look at a cornucopia of strikeouts. There's a fastball. And a great hook. And some more heat. And a little more heat. And yet another fastball. So Kerry Wood has everything well intact, but now you're facing a man for the second time and a quality hitter. And Biggio in these situations loves to go to right and right center and pick up RBIs.
Good speed in the box, good speed on the bases for the Astros, who look to tie the game in the third. 1 on 2 outs, 1-0 Cubs. 1-0.
Think about 81 runs batted in last year for a leadoff hitter. Biggio hit 309, 22 home runs, stole 47 bases.
And scored 146 runs himself.
It's a balk.
A balk on Wood.
Well, Kerry Wood for the second time this year has balked, and he did it because Jeff Blauser broke in back of Gutierrez at second. Kerry flinched, and he knows exactly what he did. So when Sandy went out to talk with him, he says, I understand what I did. Let's go get Biggio. Watch it again. And you see he's mad at himself. Just a little bit of a bobble.
Now out in Los Angeles, that balk really unnerved the young man. He works off the windup now, and a quick strike to even the count 1-1. There's Phil Regan, the pitching coach, has to like what he's seen so far. Runner at third, 2 outs. To the shortstop, easy play there. And the Cubs out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. After 2.5, Kerry Wood and the Cubs lead the Astros 1-0. We head to the bottom of the third inning. Kerry Wood's going to lead things off. And Cubs fans, Saturday, May 9th, Dunkin' Imperial Yo-Yo Day. Compliments of Scallops preferred, the Italian beef and sausage of Wrigley Field. The first 10,000 children 13 and under attending the Cubs-Giants game May 9th receive a limited edition Dunkin' Imperial Yo-Yo. Plenty of good seats available at the Wrigley Field box office or by phone at 312-831-Cubs. Kerry Wood takes a strike, leading off the Cubs' third. An unearned run, the only tally by either team so far today. And another strike. It's 0-2. Kerry has struck out 6. Reynolds has struck out 4. Milwaukee is trailing at home again to the Padres. It's 1-0 in the bottom of the 8th inning at County Stadium. Phillies over the Rockies 4-0 in the top of the 5th at Veterans Stadium. Atlanta over the Dodgers 6-0 after 6. The rest of the National League a bit later on this evening.
I'd like to pass along happy 75th birthday to Del Marsh, looking on in Long Beach, California. A few of your Astro friends wanted to wish you well today.
1-2 to Kerry. Strike 3 called. There's out number 1. Well, both these right-handers really pitching very, very well today. 11 strikeouts in 3 innings of play. Hey guys, turn around. There's a ball game going on, for goodness sakes.
Let's see if Brant Brown might think about a bunt. Try to put a little pressure on Jack Howell.
He tries. It's a very good bunt. Reynolds not in time. Good call, Stoney. Brant Brown with an infield bunt hit.
Anytime you see that third baseman a step in back of the bag, you have to try it. And that's exactly what Brant Brown saw. He not only tried it, but he did it very well. Excellent bunt. If you've got good speed, this will pull those men in at the corners, make it a lot easier as Reynolds gets to the ball, doesn't make a good throw, and Brant is aboard.
That's his second hit of the series. The other left the ballpark. And we'll see if the Cubs try to put him in motion. Brown has attempted 2 steals. He's been successful twice. Morandini Struck out looking on a very questionable check swing. He tries to bunt his way on and fouls it away. Cubs leading 1-0. Let's pause a moment for station identification. With Steve Stone, this is Chip Carey from Wrigley Field. It's a 1-0 Cub lead. And the Birds are getting their fill today as well. The pitch. It's 1-1.
These Astros have been tough to run on. Just 6 stolen bases, including one last night by Sammy Sosa. They've gunned down 11 would-be base stealers. So they've been successful 44 times and given up just 6. And that should put you in first place.
Which is exactly where the Astros are. 1-2 to Mickey. Happy 7th birthday today to Jeff Davis. He and his dad at the ballpark today. Bob and Norma Hayden from Vancouver, Washington. Their first time back at Wrigley Field in 50 years, they say.
That's the home of one Randall Kirk Myers, Vancouver, Washington.
And Mike and Jennifer Anise are here on their honeymoon. Congratulations to them. And a lovely day for baseball. The Cubs try to get back to 2 games over 500 here on the 6th of May.
Giants will come to town, and plenty of seats available for the final 4 games of this homestand. All 4 of them, by the way, brought to you on WGN.
Brown a good lead, draws another throw. Tomorrow's pitching matchups. Jeremy Gonzalez and Mark Gardner, 7:05 Central Time, our airtime. Friday, a 2:20 game. Steve Traxel, Danny Darwin. Saturday, Kevin Tapani, Sean Estes. Sunday, Mark Clark and Oral Hershiser. Then we head west. And Morandini strikes out for the 2nd time in the game. And Reynolds has his 6th punch out of the ball game.
That split finger is awfully tough today as Shane Reynolds has Mickey Morandini well out in front of this one. The bottom just falls out. And strikeout to walk ratio. You can see Shane Reynolds just about 4-1. Not bad.
He's 6-1 today, but Sosa standing in the way here in the 3rd. He was a strikeout victim swinging his first time. Sammy again with a 12-game hitting streak. And lifetime 5 for 21 against the Astro right-hander, who coming in really struggled at Wrigley Field, had an earned run average over 8. Today he's been very tough, and unearned run is what has him behind on the scoreboard so far. Again, Brown sent back to the first base bag. The Astros keep doing it on the road. They've played already 19 of their 31 games away from the Astrodome. And they've won 12 and lost 7.
Well, conversely, the Cubs in a stretch where they play 33 of 50 at home. So while the Astros have to be road warriors, the Cubs have to take advantage of the home cooking, because when it all evens out, the Astros will have an advantage the last couple of months of this season. Cubs have to put together some quality homestands if they're going to stay around in this race.
Hitters pitch here, 2-0. On the outside edge, 2 balls and a strike. Jerry Meals has had a very generous outer half of the plate today, but he's been very consistent for both Reynolds and Kerry Wood.
Well, knowing that, you just have to go out there and get it, and Sammy has been able to hit the ball very well to right and right center field, and I would assume that Reynolds is going to stay away.
Brandt measures the lead again. The 2-1. Little blooper into shallow center. Biggio can't make the play. It's in for a hit for Sosa. And they're at the corners with 2 out. And a 13-game hit streak for Sammy. And let's see, Steve, who's cleaning up in baseball, brought to you by Hoover.
National League hits, Dante Bichette, Derek Bell, and Sammy Sosa. with 44. So Sammy doing a great job in the early going. And there's a look at Sammy just muscling this ball out over the head of Craig Biggio, putting runners at the corners, and the Cubs looking to expand on that 1-run lead.
And Mark Grace doubled and scored that only Cub run back in the second. 1-0 lead. The Dave Clark throwing error has loomed very large so far. Grace could make it 2-0 with a base hit here. One ball, no strikes. Mark entered the game hitting .316, no home runs, 14 batted in. Lifetime 10 for 24 against Reynolds. It's 2-0.
Well, this isn't really the best time to send Sammy, because if you keep him at first, you keep the hole open on the right side. And if you do send him in this situation, they'll probably just put Grace, who has been very tough on Reynolds, on first, and bring up Henry, who's 3 for 28 lifetime against Reynolds.
Short lead by Sammy over at first, but he draws the throw anyhow. Two balls, no strikes. They're real worried about Sosa. Now Brad Ausmus wants to settle down Mr. Reynolds.
Well, I think he's going to tell him, don't worry that much about Sammy, because he's not the man that's going to drive home Brant Brown. It's going to be Mark Grace.
Two and 0 to the Cub cleanup man, Mark Grace. He's got a 10-game hitting streak. Good stop again by Ausmus. It's 3-0.
It's obvious that Reynolds doesn't want any part of Grace. Watch Ausmus as he saves a run on this forkball. Dropping to his knees, keeps it right in front of him.
The 3-0. Bases loaded. Brown stays at third, Sosa to second, Grace at first. Now Henry Rodriguez with a sac fly RBI is the hitter with 2 men out. Cubs have been very successful this year in 2-out situations. 61 of their 144, make that 145 runs this year, have come with 2 down. And Henry has driven in 6 of those 61 in this situation. Reynolds will work off the windup now. 0-1.
3 grand slam homers, a .250 batting average for Henry. But at 3 for 28 with just a lone double, he struggled against Shane Reynolds. It's a good time to break out of it.
The count evens, a ball and a strike. Cubs leading the Astros 1-0 here in the home half of the third. The runners lead 1-2.
Well, Shane Reynolds knows, the way his counterpart Kerry Wood is throwing at this point, that this very well might be the ball game. You give up a base hit here, you allow the Cubs to score another couple of runs, it's going to be very tough.
Jeff Pentland trying to get Henry's swing back on track after a very hot start. But the 1-2 pitch is strike 3 called on the outer half, and that retires the side. Reynolds strikes out the Cubs 3 times in the third. He's got 7 punch outs in the game, and after 3, it's still 1-0 Cubbies. We go to the 4th. 1-0 Cubs have the lead. The 2-3-4 spot due up for Houston here in the 4th inning. That's Bell, Bagwell, and Jack Howell.
Derek Bell came up with the Toronto Blue Jays, and while a member of the Blue Jays, Dave Winfield and Joe Carter decided to play a little trick on him. So they got the keys to his truck and drove it on to the field at the brand new stadium there in Toronto. And they had the public address announcer announce that as part of Fan Appreciation Weekend, they were going to raffle off Derek Bell's truck. And here was a young guy not making any money, and he saw his truck on the field, and his face like dropped to the dugout floor. Well, they thought he was going to run out after the truck as they were driving around and around, so they finally had to tell him that it was just a joke. They weren't going to raffle off the only truck that he ever had. Then he started laughing, was very happy when he found out that he would be able to indeed keep his own truck.
The 1-1 to him, popped up and into the seats, and Carey's got him set up for another strikeout. It's 1-2.
He's a different hitter now than when he was with the Toronto Ball Club and later with San Diego. Much more confident. Says he loves to hit in the 2 spot. In the 4 spot, he just didn't feel like he could contribute. He's not really a power hitter, and he felt there was a lot of pressure on him there. So he loves hitting in between Biggio and Bagwell, and certainly his numbers look like it.
2-2. Bell leading the National League in hitting with a .403 average. He has the 5th most runs batted in with 28, and he's hit 6 home runs. He serves that ball into right, and Sammy's got a beat on it, and there's out number 1. Base is empty, 1 out for Jeff Bagwell. It's been 68 at bats since the Astro first baseman has hit a home run. He's hitting .248 on the year with 4 homers, 15 batted in. Not Jeff Bagwell like numbers, but you know by season's end he's going to be right up there at the 30 home run, 100 RBI tally, and he was right on that fastball. 0-1.
Bagwell, a very aggressive hitter. He would just as soon have it middle in like most power hitters. And his hitting instructor Tom McCraw wonders how he can hit out of that crouch.
So do I.
Well, 43 home runs will tell you that it's easily done, especially when he drives in 135.
Up and into him. 2 balls and a strike.
That's one of the reasons why he wears that padding on his left hand, because when he steps toward the pitcher, you see that padded area. He steps toward the pitcher, he locks himself in, then has to move back away. The hands stay over the inside corner, and he gets hit.
3-1 now. So be careful here. Oh. Well, he really is getting confidence with that breaking ball, isn't he?
Well,
Snapped that one over a beautiful pitch.
That was the little slider that he throws, and it freezes a hitter on 3-1, obviously.
Got him with it again. 7 strikeouts.
This is almost unfair when you throw 97, 98, and then you can throw the hook, a knee bender. And as you can see from the Southwest Airlines camera, you can see the knees buckle, and it snaps over the outside corner. There is a Southwest Airlines plain view camera high atop Wrigley Field, and there's the K Club.
You guys might need to head to a photocopy machine before this game's over. He's already struck out 7.
Or a Kmart.
Do they sell those Ks there?
Sure. That's where they get all the big Ks.
No balls and a strike to Howell. It's even 1-1. Wood's strikeout high came against the Cardinals. He punched out 9 Redbirds that game. 2-1 now to Howell. Oh. Tell you, it looks to me like Sandy's got a brand new catcher's mitt, and as hard as Wood throws, I'll bet it takes him maybe 2 hitters to have that thing nice and broken in.
Well, he better have a little extra padding in there. His hand's going to be about twice the size as the other.
Strike 3 called. A laser beam on the outer half. He struck out 8. After 3.5. Kerry Wood ringing up the Astros and leading 1-0. Jeff Blauser to lead things off for the Cubs here in the 4th. It's a 1-0 game. Houston with 1 single scratch hit. That by Gutierrez, the shortstop, back in the 3rd. You wonder if the controversy will begin, whether that should be a hit or an error in today's game. We will see as Kerry Wood takes the mound in the 5th. But first things first, here's Blauser against Reynolds, who has pitched equally brilliantly. He has struck out 7 Cubs. And he's given up only 2 hits.
Blauser's always had good numbers against Shane Reynolds. Let's see if he can lead off the 4th and put the Cubs in good shape for some insurance.
2 balls, no strikes to Jeff. A ground out victim to 3rd, his first trip to the dish. Hit hard and fair down the left field line. Blauser on his way to 2nd. He had a hit last night, has a hit today. This one a stand-up double, and again the Astros throw the ball all over the ballpark. But no advance by Jeff. A leadoff double here in the 4th.
Well, there's an example of not moving with the count. With the count 2-0, you got to figure that Blauser is going to try to pull the ball, and he pulls it right down the line past Jack Howell. And the Cubs in pretty good shape if Sandy can pull the ball.
2nd Cub extra base hit, and now Martinez the hitter. He walked his first time up. Blauser at 2nd with nobody out. Milwaukee has scored twice in the 8th. They now lead the Padres 2-1 as San Diego hits in the top of the 9th. And now time call by the Cub catcher. He showed bunt and took it outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Tom Gamboa flashing the signs outside that 3rd base coaching box. Message received by Martinez, and now he's ready to go. They're in at the corners expecting a bunt. He's swinging, smacks it into right field. Can Blauser tag? There's the catch, but no advance. Bell with a very strong throw into 3rd. So Sandy hit the ball to the right side, but hit it too high in the air and to a man with a very good arm. And no advance by Blauser, and it costs the Cubs an out. Tony Gwynn just hit a solo home run for the Padres. It's 2-2 now in the 9th. Up in Milwaukee, and he hit it off Doug Jones.
Doug Jones is starting to give up quite a few home runs, so guys are starting to wait back on that changeup. That's at least 5 in his last 3 appearances.
Here's Kevin Orie. Kevin struck out his first time, and he hits that one foul past 3rd. How long does it take an adjustment by a hitter to really take hold, Steve? I know Jeff Pentland, talking to us before the game, said he's tried to open Kevin up and keep his hands back and such. How long before you see substantial gains from him?
Well, I think every hitter is completely different. It depends on how quickly he takes to it, how much batting practice he gets a chance to experience. When you're trying to learn a new style or adjust to a new style during the course of a big league game, it becomes a little more difficult. Hopefully Kevin can assimilate it quickly and put it into practice.
But the pitching pattern has been the same every at bat for him. Inside, inside, inside.
And then they do sweep that breaking ball away as you look at teacher and pupil. And hopefully Kevin Ory can shake these early season doldrums.
1 ball, 1 strike. Inside corner, 1-2. Cubs leading 1-0. An unearned run in the second.
I got a feeling you're going to see that split finger right here. That's how he got him in the second inning after setting him up inside.
One and two. The Reynolds pitch. Strike 3 called outside corner. So there are 2 men out now, and Ory is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
Kerry Wood has a chance to help himself, and at times he swung the bat pretty well. This is a good pitch on the outside corner, and after a steady diet of inside pitches, that outside corner looks a little bit further away, and right now Kevin Ory just looks confused.
Reynolds' strikeout high was 12. He's done that 3 times. Did it in 1996 against the Cardinals. He already has 8 in today's game, and we're only in the 4th.
Both pitchers with 8.
The termites have invaded the bat racks for both ball clubs, and the pitchers have been superb. San Diego, by the way, has him 1st and 3rd with 1 out now, trying to take the lead in Milwaukee. 0-1 to Carey, whose first big league hit scored a run, but this time he'll be denied. Good play by Bagwell. The pitcher covers, and that retires the side. Cubs get a leadoff double, can't advance him, and after 4 complete, it's still a 1-0 Chicago game. One nothing score after 4. Welcome back to Wrigley Field. Chip Caray and Steve Stone. If you don't like strikeouts, you probably don't like this game. 16 by both pitchers through 4 innings.
Well, not a lot of contact. You can understand it with Kerry Wood throwing rockets down there, and Shane Reynolds has matched him pitch for pitch, just an error. The difference in this one, the run unearned, the Cubs will take it, and right now Kerry has things well in hand. Just 1 hit, and that could have gone either way.
We'll see if they change that scoring as the afternoon continues. That's the only blemish for Wood today.
Well, right now Kerry Wood isn't thinking about anything but the next man that he faces, and today he's getting everything over the plate, and so that's a refreshing change from some of his earlier performances.
Moises Alou, the first man he faces here in the 5th. Alou struck out swinging his first time and falls behind again. Boy, what a delight it is to see this kid with such great stuff getting ahead more frequently in the count. With this powerful Astro team, now it's 0-2. No question about it, he is starting to feel much more comfortable. The 0-2. Strike 3 call. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. 9 strikeouts, ties his career high.
Well, Jerry Meals is calling a fairly generous corner, but he's done it on both sides of the plate for both teams. And you just have to go out there and get it. That's a pretty good pitch. And if you're not going to pull the trigger, you're going to get rung up.
So see you later. 7 straight retired by Wood. And now here's Clark, who flying to center his first time.
You got to watch Clark. He's a veteran, dead fastball hitter. So he's going to start him out with a hook and take his chances.
And he gets ahead, 0-1. Well, this doesn't look at all like the guy who struggled so badly out in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. I mean, Kerry Wood's pitching not like a 20-year-old, but like a 20-year veteran today.
And I think Dave Clark thought that ball was high. Jerry Meals says it was just high enough to be a strike. Pally, get back in there.
The 0-2. Strike 3 called, another breaking ball. 10 strikeouts for Wood. First time in his career he's reached double digits.
Well, that curveball, it's spinning so quickly you can probably hear it. Whoa. Catching it below the waist And no doubt about it, you saw it came in just about waist high, and Dave Clark, well, his hands aren't stinging because he never took the bat off his shoulder.
Well, here's the only man that's hit him so far. It's Ricky Gutierrez. And some might wonder whether it was a clean hit or not. He's singled back in the third, leading things off for the Astros. 1-1.
You can take a look at the way Sandy Martinez gets as low a target as he possibly can get.
Fastball away. That's where he got it. 1-2.
Well, I'd have to go back to that real good curveball here. Gutierrez, pretty good fastball hitter. Most strikeouts by a rookie pitcher. Dick Drott, Bert Hooten, 15 for the Cubs.
The mistake Wood made to Gutierrez was a breaking ball, if I remember correctly, that was up a little bit.
He got it on the inner portion of the plate, didn't break real well. Didn't look anything like the curve balls to Dave Clark. And here comes the slider. Let's see.
2-2. An official scores nightmare kind of game so far today. Only one hit surrendered by Wood. He has struck out the last 4 men he's faced. Make it 5 in a row. And 11 in the game. 3 up, 3 down in the 5th. It's still 1-0. He's amazing. Steve Stone, Chip Carey, our entire WGN crew back at Wrigley Field. 1-0 is our score. Kerry Wood, a brilliant outing today.
Well, folks, you're watching something special here today. This young man has got everything going. He's getting the ball over the plate, and here's the one thing that has stopped him from a no-hitter. This ball hitting off the glove, carrying into left field. That's the lone hit, but 11 strikeouts, and he's making a very good hitting ball club look awfully bad here today through 5.
He's sent down 9 in a row. He has struck out the last 5 Astro hitters. And to the top of the Cub order we go here in the 5th. Shane Reynolds hasn't pitched that badly himself. Don't forget, he has 8 strikeouts in the game. He's given up only 4 Cub hits as well. But an unearned run, his undoing today.
Have a lot of storms in the area, so you'd like to get this one in as quickly as you can.
A ball and a strike to Brandt, who struck out and has singled, but was stranded back in the 3rd. The Cubs have left 5 men on through 4. Ripped into right center field for a base hit by Brown. The more you see him, the more you like him. He's 2 out of 3.
Well, with nobody out looking for some insurance, this is a good time for either Morandini to bunt the ball or use the hit and run. I'd just as soon a hit and run situation. Mickey is fanned twice, but you force him to concentrate if you run with Brown.
Brandt again measures off a pretty good size lead over there. And a strike to Morandini. Lights are on here at the ballpark. Game time temperature 64 degrees. Winds were out of the southeast at 7. It is cooling considerably as the front starts to move through. 0-2 to Mickey.
There's a whole lot of fans that miss this one here today. A crowd that looks to be about 19,000. But they're being treated to one of the fine performances by a rookie pitcher that they have ever seen.
11 strikeouts, the season high for the Cubs. It's a career high for Wood so far, and he's only in the 5th. One and two now. Larry Walker just hit a grand slam for the Rockies. They're tied 5-5 in Philadelphia. Mickey lays off the off-speed pitch. It's 2-2. Braves carved up the Dodgers 7-0. Greg Maddux beat Darren Dreifert today. The Dodgers committed 3 errors in that ball game. And Milwaukee batting in the bottom of the 9th, tied 2-2 with the Padres. The pitch. It's full now, 3-2.
Well, now I'd assume you're going to run with Brown, but Dan Radisson over there telling him make sure that Reynolds delivers this ball home. You don't want to get picked off, but you need a big enough lead because Osmus gets rid of the ball quickly.
3 balls, 2 strikes, short lead. I'll throw back to first.
If this is a split finger, this would be a tough ball to handle for Osmus. He's going with the heat.
The payoff runner goes. Swing, bouncing ball back to the mound. He'll go to second, 1, relay to first. What a double play. 1-6-3 the double play. Brant Brown a little shaken up as he tried to take Gutierrez out at second base.
Good effort by Gutierrez as he gets the throw on the hit and run. He was covering. They figured Morandini would pull the ball, so they've got the shortstop covering, and Reynolds does a nice job of making sure of one. Then Gutierrez, using the bag as a shield, makes the double play. You got a couple of choices if you're the pivot man, and watch Gutierrez. He steps back, and Brown jams his knee on the bag.
Well, that's why he hobbled off. Hope he's all right. So base is empty, 2 outs for Sammy, who singled his last time up. 1 ball, no strikes.
Cubs could ill afford to lose yet another center fielder, so I think Brant Brown's going to be okay. Those resilient young legs.
The 1-0. He rips it into the seats, foul.
Watch the play and watch how hard Brant Brown hits the bag. Gutierrez just takes a step back to avoid the sliding Brown. And Brant stops abruptly. Slid a little late and hurt himself a touch, but he's all right.
A ball and a strike to Mr. Sosa. Well, this guy does have some nasty breaking stuff, doesn't he? 1-2.
Both pitchers doing it differently. Kerry Wood doing it with a great breaking ball, a good slider, and just raw power. And Shane Reynolds doing it with craft and guile.
A ball and 2 strikes to Sammy. The pitch. Got him. And the inning is over. 9 strikeouts for Reynolds, 11 for Wood. To the 6th inning we go, and the Cubs in front by a run. Well, it's been said of a very close friend of mine, the lights are on and no one's home. At least that's the case for the Astros today. Kerry Wood has struck out 11 of the Houstons today. And he gets ahead of the number 8 hitter, Brad Osmus. Wood has retired 9 in a row.
Kevin Ory in close at third, and it's a good idea because Osmus will occasionally bunt.
Way high with a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Osmus has pretty good speed.
If he does hit it, it's going to right or right center.
1-2. The Brewers have beaten the Padres. Mark Loretta with an RBI double in the 9th off Carlos Reyes wins it 3-2 over San Diego. All the runs came in the 8th and 9th in that game. And now the count 2-2.
Well, the outside corner is generous. Throw the heat on the outside corner and you will fan number 12 and 6th in a row, and he's going out there with the fastball.
The 2-2 to the second baseman, Mickey 2-E. 1 out. That's the hardest hit ball the Astros have had today. But Kerry is still retired 10 in a row. And now the pitcher, Shane Reynolds. Reynolds a sacrifice his first time up.
What's frightening if you're the opposition, Kerry hasn't walked anybody today, and normally that's the only time when you can get to this kid.
Ugh. And it's not as if he's lost any heat off the gas so far. Brad Osmus opens up the 6th inning by grounding out to Mickey Morandini. Kerry Wood's retired 10 men in succession. And now the Astro pitcher behind no balls, 2 strikes. See you later. 12 strikeouts and 2 outs in the Houston 6th.
Well, Shane Reynolds says, I still have to pitch. There's no reason to hurt my hands on a swing. So you can see 12 right across the board. Many of them caught looking.
Yeah, we have to check those guys out and see if they got him in order.
It's 7 and 5. 7 called strikeouts, 5 swinging.
So 2 up, 2 down. He's retired 11 in a row. Craig Biggio, the Astro hitter. Every member of the Astros has struck out at least once today. Biggio opened the game striking out swinging. A 1-hitter so far for Wood. He's in the 6th. Oh, that's just not fair. Nothing in 1.
Biggio just wanted a bit of a timeout as he turned to Jerry Meals. He loosened up all the vertebrae on that cut.
Yeah, he did. I think the best pitch Wood made today was the first pitch of the game. The one that knocked the mask off the umpire. You could see Biggio turn around and look as he fouls that one away, as if to say, I don't really think I saw that pitch.
I think he might have hurt himself on that first swing. He's still loosening up, and he's taking some very defensive swings against Kerry Wood. You never see Craig Biggio doing that.
He needs a new star on that helmet. Too much pine tar is taking the decal off. The 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kerry Wood has struck out 12 Astros into the 6th inning.
Biggio still trying to loosen himself up. It's a man with the 2nd longest consecutive game streak played behind Cal Ripken.
Oh, that hit him in the back of the helmet. Let's see if he's all right.
And we told you when this game started that Biggio would probably get hit today with a curveball, but we thought that he would lean into it. This time he's fortunate to get hit on that padded elbow, so he's going to be all right.
Yeah, I thought it was the elbow or the back of the helmet, I beg your pardon, when it hit him, because it made that funny plasticky sound, but it was the elbow guard that he got.
Right, it's that plastic elbow guard, and that's why he wears it. Now this one he didn't lean into. He kind of leans away from it and gets that elbow up to protect his head. And now you have to watch the stolen base. So Sandy Martinez, for the first time, put to the test with Biggio at first. And he's stolen 14 bases, been caught twice. Active leaders hit 5 pitches, and Craig Biggio right there at the top.
So he's aboard with 2 outs. And Bell, the batter, he is struck out and he's flied out. He's not going the first time, and that pitch popped up. In play, Mark Grace says he's got it. He's in foul ground. He does have it. Signed, retired. No runs, no hits. 1 man left after 5 1/2. It's still a 1-0 Cub game. On to the bottom of the 6th inning. Cubs leading 1-0. Mark Grace to lead it off. He couldn't check his swing. It's 0-1. Boy, these 2 pitchers have been brilliant today.
And there's some very nasty weather all around the ballpark. So fortunately, the Cubs have the lead, and it doesn't look like Kerry Wood wants to relinquish it anytime soon.
About as weak a swing as you'll ever see Mark Grace take. That gives you an idea of how good Reynolds' stuff has been today. He has struck out 9 Cubs. But he trails 1-0. We told you 1 run could be the difference in this one, and it has been a gem of a pitching battle. Kerry Wood has retired. 12 Astros on strikes. Grace behind 1 and 2. He has one of the 5 Cub hits. That's extended his hit streak to 10 games. He scored the only run. He flirts with a base hit there. Oh, what a play, Biggio, and he got him by a step.
Biggio told both Chip and I that it was very difficult when you have to go back on the grass here because it slopes down from the playing surface. And he says he tries to cut everything off on the dirt, but he wasn't able to do it. A fine play moving to his left, a 360, and he guns down Mark Grace. And this is a good effort. Biggio says on a ball like that, you run the risk of it flattening out, going under your glove, and you wonder where it went. Well, that time it stuck right in the glove, and he robbed Mark Grace.
Yeah, he said it's almost luck if the ball finds its way into the leather, and that time it did, and he made a great play to retire Mark. So with one out, bases empty, Henry Rodriguez the batter. I think he's 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a sac fly RBI.
I think, Chip, if you're Larry Dierker right now, what you pray for is about an hour-and-a-half rain delay, get Kerry Wood out of there, and hope to come back at the bullpen. The way Kerry's throwing now, he's just unhittable.
The Astros have tomorrow off. The Cubs don't, so we'll wait this one out. Should the weather turn nasty, the bad stuff all around the ballpark, but nary a raindrop yet. 2-1 to Henry. Cubs are leading 1-0. It's 2-2.
A tough inning in the 7th. Bagwell, Howell, and Alou, if anybody gets on Clark for the Astros. So Kerry Woods just sawing through an excellent hitting lineup so far, but he still has a little work to do before they can put this one in the win column.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the umbrellas start to pop up, and Henry swings and chased a bad ball. That's 10 strikeouts for Mr. Reynolds, and 2 down.
We'll take a look at a split finger fastball, and now Henry is 3 for 30 lifetime against Shane Reynolds, who has been mighty tough today. 1 unearned run, the difference in this ball game, and now the rains start to come down a little more persistent.
Here's Jeff Blauser. He's grounded to third, and he has doubled. That ball hit into center field. It'll drop in front of Alou. So Jeff, a 2-hit game, maybe a sign that his bat's starting to come back to life. He's 2 for 3 today, now 8 for 19 lifetime against Reynolds.
Well, if the Cubs are going to put together a prolonged streak, they're going to have to get some production out of the bottom part of the order. And if Jeff Blauser is going to hit down in that 6th and 7th spot, if he starts producing, it's going to open up some things for some of the other hitters.
Sandy Martinez, the hitter. He's walked and flied to right. 0-1. Our senior producer director of Cubs baseball is Arnie Harris. Today's game produced by Pete Toma. Our associate producer Mark Brady. The coordinating producer of Cubs baseball Kim Fields. Kathy Kerr with us in the WGN booth here at Wrigley Field.
Well, Sandy's done his job today. The Astros haven't stole a base.
Yeah, right. Only had 2 guys on today. Gutierrez with the scratch single, and Biggio hit by a pitch.
And with Biggio on, Bell swung at the first pitch, didn't give Biggio a chance to steal.
0-1 toward third, and Howell to an E, knocks that down, makes the play on the fly, and that retires the Cubs in the 6th. To the 7th we go. Bagwell, Howell, and Alou will try to solve Kerry Wood in a 1-0 game. The rain's starting to fall a little harder now as Jeff Bagwell stands in against Kerry Wood. Bagwell 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. We asked Tom McCraw about his hitting slump earlier today.
He's been my most complicated situation that I've had since I've been a hitting instructor. I still haven't figured out his batting stance. I know he has good mental discipline. But even though he's struggling, he's still making contributions. He's getting the walks for us. He'll get a base hit every now and then, and he's still basing. So even though he's not hitting the long ball, he's got 15, 16 RBIs, which isn't bad. But for Bagwell standards, it's not as good as we know that he's going to do. So I have the luxury maybe of realizing that Jeff has a tremendous track record, and at the end of the season, he'll have his numbers will all be in place.
2-2 to him, however.
Got to shut down the Astros this inning because the rains are coming, and they are going to be heavy.
Ooh, that just missed. 3-2.
Hasn't walked anybody so far. You don't want to start with Bagwell to lead off the inning. He's got good speed.
Got it. 13 strikeouts.
Well, it looked like Bagwell swung at ball 4. That was a fastball up. It looked out of the strike zone, but you don't have much chance to decide with young Kerry Wood. Look at those gaudy numbers. 1 hit, no walks, 13 strikeouts. Hello, right by him. Swung late as they've done all day.
Howell is 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. And this kid doesn't look like he is slowing down a bit. He's still bringing the ball in the upper 90s. That one slipped. And that's what you have to worry about with the soggy conditions. Now it's 3-0.
I would give Howell 2 take signs because Kerry's starting to get that fastball up and out of the zone, and Howell hasn't done anything with it.
3-1. He went around. 3-2.
That's why I said I'd give him 2 take signs, but Howell did swing at that. And that could wind up to really hurt the Astros. This fastball up and out of the zone, and Howell doesn't check his swing.
3 balls, 2 strikes. 14.
Once you swung at the 3-1 pitch, the 3-2 pitch just unhittable upstairs, and Howell takes a seat as so many before him have.
So 2 up, 2 down. Here's Alou. And factor in the bad weather. It's tough to hit through the raindrops. Strike 1. Let's pause a moment for station identification. Thunder rumbling overhead, and Alou lost the handle on the bat. He's down 2 strikes. This the 95th pitch of the game for Kerry Wood. He has struck out 14 Astros. He's given up only 1 hit. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Did he go? Yes, he did. He strikes out the side again. He's punched out 15. As we go to the 7th inning stretch, here's Joe Montana with the Cubs leading 1-0.
Original bleacher bum.
The rain really starting to come down now here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Cubs leading 1-0. You have to wonder how long the umpires are going to let this thing go on, as Alou very frustrated.
Tries to check his swing. The appeal to Terry Tata. He says, nope, you went around and you're number 15.
And number 15 for the Cubs, Kevin Orie, is in the box. Reynolds taking his sweet time. He'd love to have the umpires call this thing. Orie went around, and that's strike 1. Well, Joe Montana in the booth with us this afternoon. Couldn't think of a more appropriate singing of the 7th inning stretch. The 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. There have been 25 strikeouts in this game. What a way for you to join us at the ballpark.
Oh, this is fantastic. This is what everybody comes for, to hopefully come to that special game, which this one's turning out to be.
Lifelong Cubs fan, huh?
Oh yeah, there's documentary proof with photographs of me at 5 years old watching Hank Sauer bat on a black and white television. And
toward third, Howell should throw him out, and he will. 1 away. What do you think of this year's edition of the Cubs?
oh, they look terrific. I mean, this really looks like we've got a nice mixture of youth and veterans and well, this Kerry Wood. She's certainly got the real stuff.
He struck out 15 and a huge ovation for him tonight. He's 0 for 2. He's 0 for 2 is Wood. And Reynolds will face him with one man out in the 7th. Cubs leading 1-0, an unearned run the difference. It's 0-1. You're in town for your 2 shows, the Bleacher Bums. Tell us about that.
Yeah, actually tomorrow evening we'll be performing for National Public Radio, a radio version of the play Bleacher Bums, which we first did in 1977, and we have the whole original cast coming together, including Dennis Franz and all the original Bleacher Bum actors that did it in '77. And so that's very exciting for us 21 years later to do it again.
Including Dennis Franz, who was in the original,
that's
right?
right. He flies in tonight. He'll be here for the show tomorrow. And
Biggio battles the raindrops, pardon me, 2 down.
We've updated the show to make it a 98 lineup. So actually Kerry Wood is the picture.
Oh, is that right?
The picture of record in the game tomorrow.
I guess the check from Steve Stone didn't get to you because I think he wanted to be in the play.
I did a game with Dennis out in Los Angeles when we had the sub-broadcasters for Harry when he had his stroke, and there was 34 different broadcasters. Dennis was one of them, and he was a delight. Say hello to him for me.
Well.
And I'm sure he's happy to be back in Chicago.
Yeah. We've got all the guys. They're all up in the skybox here. All the rest of the cast. They're one of the boxes here today. So we're so used to sitting in the bleachers. It's a treat to see what that's like now.
Now the Astro equipment band's going to come out and get a tongue depressor for Reynolds so he can clean the dirt from his spikes. The rain slowing down a little bit here. They haven't applied any of the diamond dry surface to the mound or the batter's box, but it still is raining pretty hard here at the ballpark. Well, you have a wonderful resume, Joe. Your films, The Godfather 3, Forget Paris, Searching for Bobby Fischer, Baby's Day Out, Airheads, a story about Steve Stone and I, Queen's Logic, Wait Until Spring, Bandini, and Family Prayers. What's next for you?
Well, I just completed a film for HBO called The Rat Pack, which deals with Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and that whole crew. And then I did a play that I did with the Organic Theater back in the 70s called The Wonderful Ice Cream Soup. We finally made a movie of it 25 years later for Disney with Ray Bradbury did the screenplay and Stuart Gordon directed. And so that'll be coming out as well as Woody Allen's next picture called Celebrity, which will be out in the fall.
Which do you prefer, stage or screen, or does it matter?
Oh, I mean, I just feel fortunate to be able to do. I mean, you guys, I think, can relate to that. Doing something that you love, and make a living at it. So, stage, screen, whatever the venue is, I enjoy having the opportunity to be an actor and to make a good living doing it.
Well, obviously, you've been very, very successful at that, an Emmy Award. And how can folks, if they're interested in seeing your play, how can they purchase tickets, or is it sold out?
Well, the evening performance is sold out, but they've added another performance at 3:30 tomorrow afternoon out at the North
Shore Center. Is that it?
North Shore Center in Skokie. That's it. And so I think there's still some tickets available for that 3:30 performance. And like I said, we'll be recording it for radio. And then the radio broadcast, I think, is going to happen sometime in October.
Well, maybe we'll see you not only at the plate tomorrow, but maybe at the ballpark tomorrow night as well, as the Giants will be in town. Joe, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Chip.
Congratulations on a great career, and don't be a stranger. Come see us anytime.
Oh, I'd love to. Thanks very much.
Cubbies, and thanks for singing today. You did a wonderful job.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Joe Mantegna with us here at Wrigley Field. We are through 7 innings. It's still 1-0 Cubs. 1-0 our score as we head to the 8th inning. The Cubs make a defensive substitution. Jose Hernandez takes over in left field for the Cubs. But the story of this afternoon is the man on that mound, Kerry Wood.
We certainly do. And with 15 strikeouts, you can understand why they're excited about this young man.
He has struck out 15 Astros today. Clark, Gutierrez, and Osmus, the next 3 to face him. And as we have a moment, let's take a look, Steve, at today's Ameritech play that makes a difference.
The only hit of the game, Ricky Gutierrez gets a breaking ball that hangs on the inner portion. He waits, takes it to the left side, and this is a base hit. As you can see, Kevin Ory just barely gets a tip of the glove on it. And although there'll be some controversy, folks, that's a hit. It was a good scoring call. And that's the only hit of the day.
So Kerry Wood with 15 strikeouts. In case you wondered, the all-time Cub record for strikeouts in a game is 17. Way back May 30th, 1906 against St. Louis. Jack Feister, the man that did it. It was a 15-inning game.
Artie Harris told us that Feister had very good control that day and was able to snap that breaking ball over the outside corner at will.
How are the ratings for that game?
Well, no television, but a lot of good radio calls simulated.
2 balls, no strikes.
I'm a little worried right now with the mound conditions the way they are, and Kerry Wood starting to get a few pitches up as he did last inning. You kind of worry about his control.
It is a 1-0 game. Wood has not walked a batter in the ball game. He's given up 1 single, and he's hit Craig Biggio. And Clark taking his time, wants that mound to get just as soggy as it can be. A lot of gamesmanship right now.
Bob Scanlon up in the bullpen. He's throwing.
Threw it right by him. 2-1.
There's a look at the former Cub, Bob Scanlon. They don't have many right-handers down there. They do have 4 left-handers, however. Doug Henry and Bob Scanlon, the 2 right-handers.
2 balls, 1 strike. It's 3-1. Gutierrez, the lone man to single off Wood, is on deck. The 3-1 to Clark. 3-2.
Again, you don't have much time to decide, but that was ball 4. It was low and out of the zone. And now if you throw that high fastball, you're probably going to throw it right by Dave Clark.
The crowd will tell you the story. It was a high pitch, and he just did get a piece. Wood threw 104 pitches in 7 innings against the Cardinals last time out. He's thrown 102, and he's in the 8th here today, and he struck out 15 men. He hasn't walked a single batter.
And it's not like there's a whole lot off that fastball. The string on Dave Clark, who was way out in front of it, and that doesn't seem fair. That is number 16, a rookie record for the Cubs. Dick Drott and Bert Hooton had 15, and this season he is atop the leaderboard in Ks. 16 strikeouts, and look at this pitch. He pulls the string, and Dave Clark has no chance.
He struck out 4 in a row again. He struck out 5 in a row twice in this game. He has 16 punch-outs and another strike to Gutierrez. This is amazing. A little squibber foul. He's got him set up 2 strikes again.
Bill Regan telling Tom Gamboa, you see, I worked with this young man. We tightened up the curveball, got him throwing a little bit harder, and look, this is the result.
The 0-2. Got him. He's tied the record.
Larry Dierker is on the phone to the Cub bullpen telling him to get up Beck.
Yeah, that's right.
And he just fires a fastball right on the corner, right by Ricky Gutierrez.
17 strikeouts. And now Brad Ausmus, the hitter. Wood has tied the team record for strikeouts in a game. It's a 92-year-old record.
I am hoping that the rain does not stop this one short of the 9th inning, as this young man could set the all-time record.
He's 1 strike away.
How about swinging at a curveball that lands 2 feet in front of home plate? You think they're seeing the ball real well? He's threatening to strike out the side for the 4th time in the game.
What can you say? 18 strikeouts. It's a new Cub record. And the first of many, I'm sure, that will fall for this young right-hander. We go to the bottom half. It's still 1-0. Well, a record-setting performance so far for Kerry Wood. He has struck out a franchise record 18 men today. And he's within striking distance of the all-time major league record in strikeouts.
Well, this being his 5th start, you can understand where he saved his best for number 5.
Yeah. Man, oh man, unbelievable. Has been Kerry Wood. But first things first, today the Cubs want to welcome the Partners in Education Tutoring Program of the 4th Presbyterian Church to Wrigley Field, courtesy of Halo Industries. And folks, you have seen one of the best pitching performances in baseball history today, and certainly in franchise history as well. The rain is still falling here at the ballpark. Mickey Morandini will lead things off here in the 8th. It's still a 1-0 game. Not only has Wood struck out 18, he's given up only 1 hit. And Morandini 0 for 3 on the day, takes a ball, 1-0.
In the 9th, it'll be a pinch hitter for Reynolds, and back to the top with Biggio and Bell.
1-1.
What a day for Kerry Wood. He's had everything in the strike zone and everything breaking sharply. And these Houston hitters haven't had a sniff.
Morandini, line drive into right field for a base hit. That's the 7th Cub hit. And a little insurance would be nice. Only 1 hit for the Astros. And I wonder what that Astro manager Larry Dierker is thinking about Kerry Wood. We were talking to him yesterday. He got his summons to the big leagues when he was 18. He said he didn't have much control difficulty. Well, he's seeing a 20-year-old not have any of that today either. Here's Sosa. He's got a hit today. That extends his hitting streak to 13 games.
Well, in Larry's first full season, he was 7-8. He had 109 strikeouts and 147 2/3 innings, and he started 19 games. This young man will fly by those numbers.
An unearned run, the difference in this game. Sosa, a little pop into right. Bell will battle the water, and he'll make the grab, and there's out number 1 in the 8th.
You can't take anything away from Shane Reynolds. He's been brilliant today, limiting the Cubs to just 1 unearned run, but sometimes you pick the wrong day to pitch, and that's been the case so far against young Kerry Wood.
So Roger Clemens holds the all-time major league record. He struck out 20. I think he did it once to the Mariners and once to the Tigers. The National League record is 19. So Kerry Wood, if he could retire all 3 Astros on strikes, would set the major league record today at Wrigley Field.
Was it Carlton and Seaver both had 19? I know Carlton did.
I think you're right.
And Carlton might have lost that game in which he fanned 19.
Roger Clemens did it in 86 and 96. That ball hammered into the Astro bullpen and foul. 0-1 to Mark Grace as Mickey Morandini breaking on the play.
I'd like to see the hit and run in this scenario, trying to keep the inning alive. Jose Hernandez in the on-deck circle. He came on to take over left field defensively for Henry Rodriguez.
The rain starting to lighten up here. 1 on, 1 out. Cubs leading 1-0 here in the bottom half of the 8th. Kerry Wood, the story. The pitch. Evens the count. Well, I wonder what the folks around Major League Baseball watching the game on WGN today are thinking about Kerry Wood's performance.
I think there's a lot of people going to be asking the Astros, what did Kerry Wood look like? Well, we didn't see much of him, so we can't tell you. But he sounded pretty good.
2-1 to Grace. I guess Kerry's next outing will be against the Diamondbacks.
That'll be in Arizona. I'm sure they're looking forward to that.
And then he'll get the Reds on Saturday, the 16th in Cincinnati. 2 balls and a strike. Ripped into right. Will it drop? It will. Mickey very gingerly scampers around second, and he stands at third. First and third, 1 out. Grace, another 2-hit game. Cubs fans, make sure you pick up the latest issue of Cubs Quarterly. The new issue features a birthday tribute to Billy Williams, articles on Mark Grace, Kevin Ory, Kerry Wood, and full-color photos of the '98 Cubs. Cubs Quarterly available here at the ballpark, Wrigley Field, as of mid-May, but reserve your copy of this collectible by calling 800-248-WINS. Remember, accept no imitations. Ask for Cubs Quarterly by name.
Kerry Wood sitting there contemplating what his 9th inning is going to look like, and it will be a lot more comfortable for him if the Cubs can push one across. And that's in the hands of Jose Hernandez.
Well, folks, I've had the good pleasure of watching Randy Johnson pitch for the Seattle Mariners for a couple of years. And I've seen him flirt with perfect games, with no-hitters, with 14, 15, 16 strikeout games. And this young man at the age of 20 doesn't give much away to the big unit. He has been absolutely magnificent today. Jose Hernandez, who took over defensively an inning or so ago, is the Cub batter. He's behind 0-1.
Jose hit a home run last night to put the Cubs on top briefly, 4-3. Doesn't need a home run here. This has to stay out of the double play.
1 ball, 1 strike. And again, lost in this day has been the pitching of Shane Reynolds. He has been absolutely fantastic too. He has struck out 10 Cubs. He's scattered 8 Chicago hits. An unearned run on the Dave Clark error in left field. Moved a runner up 90 feet, and the Cubs got a sac fly RBI out of it. That's been all the scoring today. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A 1-0 nail biter at Wrigley Field. One and 2. Hit toward third. They'll try to turn 2. Howell took forever. Jose beats the wrap. It took him a long time to make that throw, didn't it?
Well, the Cubs get a run, and Jack Howell looked like all he needed was a force out at second. You got to realize that sometimes you have to hurry up this play, and watch Howell from the left field camera. He takes a long time getting it over there, and no chance to get Hernandez, who drives in a run and a big one, as Jose drives in his 10th and gives the Cubs some breathing room.
So he stands at first with 2 outs. Jeff Blauser, a 2-hit day today. Cubs leading 2-0 in the bottom of the 8th. 1 ball, no strikes. Jeff a double offensively in the 4th inning, the highlight of his at-bats on the afternoon. The Cubs trying to get a game back from the first place Astros, trying to go to 4-2 on the homestand, and will await the Giants for the first of 4 tomorrow night. Houston will have another off day, and then they head to Milwaukee for 3. Brewers won in the bottom of the 9th today, 3-2 over the Padres. 1-0. 1-1. Didn't mean to swing. It's a foul ball in front of the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the Cubs shortstop, Jeff Blauser. And Brad Ausmus makes a friend by tossing the foul ball into the first row of seats. Kerry Wood awaiting the top of the 9th. He's got a 2-run cushion.
And for a young man on the mound with everything going for him, you can't wait to get out there.
Oh.
He wants this inning to end. He feels with 2 runs he's got enough.
1-2. Runner goes. The Ausmus throw to second is a laser beam. And Jose is retired, and that retires the Cubs in the 8th. But a big insurance run on 2 hits. Nobody left. We go to the 9th, and Kerry Wood seeks the record after this timeout. We go to the 9th inning. The man of the afternoon, Kerry Wood, has already set the Cubs all-time record for single-game strikeouts with 18. The National League record 19, the Major League record 20. And it's the most strikeouts since David Cone punched out 19 in 91.
Rod Beck.
Just in case, Rod Beck getting ready.
And Bill Gullickson, as a rookie, fanned 18 Chicago Cubs back in 1980 while a member of the Montreal Expos. So 1 more strikeout and Kerry Wood will have that.
He faces Bill Spires. First pitch fouled away. And again, look how late he was. It's 0-1.
Spires hitting .242. 0 for 6 as a pinch hitter. And he started the ball game last night. Had a key double in the 7th inning.
Spires ready, the 0-1. Line foul out of play, 0-2.
Jack Brickhouse just called Arnie Harris, said it's the best game that he's seen since Bob Henley pitched a 1-hitter for the Cubs against the Dodgers, but Sandy Koufax pitched a no-hitter for the Dodgers against the Cubs.
1 ball, 2 strikes. I don't know about you, but I got goosebumps watching this thing.
I think if he throws him a hook, especially the kind that he threw to Dave Clark, that'll be number 19. And Sandy Martinez, who's done a great job behind the plate, says, "Give me the hook, kid. Let's see it."
He tomahawked that one toward the Astro dugout. 1-2 the count.
And a lot has to be said for Sandy Martinez, because it's not like Kerry Wood has shaken him off a great deal. Kerry Wood has shaken him off a few times, not many. And Sandy's done a great job pumping his fist, saying, "Let's go get him."
Come on, kid. 1 more strike to go. The pitch. Hot foul. Look out, Mr. Santo. There goes another window.
My car's next to Ron, so foul it over the other side.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Spires.
Fans on their feet all over the ballpark. They're seeing something special here today.
Got it! He ties the National League record. Oh, Mr. Brickhouse, what do you think of this young man?
Well,
give us a call.
That was a floating slider that came well inside to Spires, and he just swung over the top. Watch it again as Billy Spires comes up empty, and he's number 19.
And to the top of the order we go, and Craig Biggio. Wood has struck out 7 straight men. He goes for number 20 right here. 1 ball, no strikes. Give the umpire Jerry Meals credit too. He has had a very consistent strike zone for both pitchers today. 19 and counting for Wood. To the shortstop. 2 down. He's got a chance to tie Clemens, though, if he can retire Bell.
And the fans boo Craig Biggio for making contact. One lone hit, that coming to lead off the third inning by Ricky Gutierrez. And there is the major league record. Roger Clemens, the record, 20 strikeouts.
He got Bell in the first. And the adrenaline still pumping very, very hard for Wood. He is throwing still in the upper 90s. I guess he needs some more seasoning.
Obviously, they called him up well too early, especially for the Astros.
1-0 to Bell. Oh, nasty 1-1.
Well, a collage of these strikeouts would take up most of Sports Center.
Get ready to see it again. 1-2.
Well, one more curveball, and that should be about it, because Derek Bell isn't even coming close. Come on, number 20.
Here comes the hook. Got him! 20 strikeouts. He ties the major league record. Unbelievable. Strikeouts for Kerry Wood.
He's got the National League record. He tied the Major League record. A one-hit shutout, 2-0 with 20 strikeouts and no walks. And how about that? Those of you lucky enough to have witnessed this on WGN have seen something you might not see again anytime soon.
20 strikeouts by the rookie Kerry Wood. He ties Roger Clemens for the all-time Major League record, and he makes it in his 5th Major League start. Unbelievable.
And we're going to hear from Kerry Wood, so don't go away. There'll be a lot of people that want to talk to him. We're going to get a chance to speak to him, and I'll tell you something. That performance was just absolutely overwhelming.